Welcome to Native Talk Arizona, Native Health's Native American Cultural Affairs program, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy. Culinarian and entrepreneur Liz McKenzie is the genius behind the delicious and unique blend of flavors of lemonades and syrups for prickly foods that strives to make sustainable food products with flavors from Southwest native plants. Liz, welcome to Native Talk Arizona.
Hi.
Well, we're super excited you're here, and tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, and how you got interested in cactus.
Well, my journey. So I stepped into my ADHD brain right at the time when it was time to go off to college. And so, of course, my major in physics wasn't clicking as it did when I was a senior in high school. So I took a step back and I moved home from Portland to just kind of regroup and figure out a next step for myself. And then I figured that I should probably go to culinary school since I really enjoyed doing things with my hands, and it looked like very fast-paced and, just full of adrenaline, which, as I found out, it completely was and is the restaurant line cook life. And I went to Arizona Culinary Institute, where I graduated in 2010, and then I worked at my family's cake shop in Mesa, Valley's Custom Cakes, and I was an intern and learned the world of custom cakes and creating or using cake as a medium. And so it was just like a whole mind-blowing kind of realization, was like kind of thinking about cake as an art medium. When my internship was finished, I moved back home to Albuquerque, where I kind of just started my culinary career from the bottom, just dishwashing and all the way up to kind of like sous chef for a catering company. And since then, I did kind of everything in the book. I was a burger flipper, dishwasher, prep cook, busser, baker, barista, donut baker for Rebel Donut here back in the day. And I've made bagels. I was a dive bartender, and I helped open a brewery tap rooms like Scratch Kitchen. And throughout all of this, I realized that although I really enjoyed working with food, at times the industry could really have some toxic relationships. And a lot of it is just so enveloped in kind of, I guess, like a sort of escapism. So there's a lot of like drinking and partying and, substance abuse involved. And I started to kind of pull myself away from that, and I ended up starting my business, Howdy Cakes, in 2021. And because during the pandemic, during quarantine and lockdown, I kind of started just doing small cakes just for like friends and family. And I did other things, like I would make scratch pasta and, sell those, just kind of like ways to keep busy but still keep my brain going. And so, I decided that I wanted to start this small business, Howdy Cakes, which now, present day, I have won top 5 best cakes 3 years in a row and top 5 best cupcakes 2 years in a row for the Albuquerque the Magazine Best in the City. And, I'm very proud of my culinary creations because I believe that they're completely a reflection of me. And at the same time that I started Howdy Cakes, my friend from like when I was maybe a freshman in high school, so like 2003, that time, here in Albuquerque, I had a friend, from then, and we'd hang out at this like coffee house, just trying to be cool high schoolers. But in 2021, we had a relationship because he puts on the New Mexico Prickly Pear Festival, and I play music under the name Liz Howdy, and I had performed for a couple of the festivals that he had put on. But then, yes, in 2021, his name is Will Thompson. He has a background in agriculture, and he approached me about starting a food business around prickly pear. And, so Will does a lot of the hard stuff that I can't, like all the computer stuff and, like making sure that we're a legitimate business. And then I do a lot of the production side and the flavor development. And, that's how our relationship has been. And it's worked out pretty great so far. We maintain a small farm down in Lemitar, New Mexico. It's about an hour and a half-ish south of Albuquerque. It's a cute little 3-acre farm. So that way we are in charge of our own pears. And, a lot of props to people who do their own harvesting and foraging. But, we wanted to build a legitimate business where we can be in charge of every aspect, including our fruit, from beginning to end when we provide it to our consumers.
Wow. Okay, I want to go back. You asked one question, or you said something at the very beginning. Did you say it was physics? They were going to school for physics? Like at the very beginning? Wow.
Yeah. Yes, I was going to Portland State University to major in physics and theater.
Wow.
So,
and look where you ended up.
Yeah.
So, Liz, how did you get started? How did you name Prickly Foods? I think it's kind of obvious, but I think it's a really cool name. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So I talked about how my business partner or eventual business partner kind of approached me about kind of joining forces for this prickly pear-based beverage or business. There's always like a lot of P's, prickly pear, but we landed on the name Prickly Foods after a lot of thought, because at first we didn't want to kind of put ourselves in a specific bracket. We wanted to keep it open to the possibility of doing more beyond beverages. Initially, we did start with granola, and we have done kind of a direct-to-consumer sort of parfait product before. But, for the most part, we have kind of stuck to beverages just because, it's a little more fun on my end to work with that on that level and to save all of my food creativity for Howdy Cakes. But, yeah, that's how the name Prickly Foods kind of came together.
Okay, so I think I kind of jumped the gun, so I'm going to back up a little. You talked about having, 3 acres in southern Arizona, right? Southern New Mexico. Hang on.
New Mexico.
Southern New Mexico. Okay, so when you bought the 3 acres, what are you doing with the 3 acres?
Yeah, so actually, we kind of took over an existing prickly pear farm.
Okay, so
there's an elderly couple. Yeah, there's an elderly couple who used to do A&Js. They did like prickly pear syrup and prickly pear jam, but they are pretty elderly, so we already had a relationship with them. And when we started to grow, they ended up stepping back from maintaining the farm, and now we maintain the farm. And yeah, it's 3 acres of prickly pear.
So is that like, I don't know very much about prickly pear farming. Is that like just wild, like they just grow, or do you actually like plant them in rows and water them and harvest them and fertilize them? How does that work?
They are planted in rows and placed strategically so they have room to grow. We do have them on the sort of irrigation drip, but they are very sustainable, as we know, because they've been an indigenous staple, probably from our creation stories, origins, and we really just try and keep them healthy by, just like giving them a sort of constant flow of water. I mean, they don't need much because they're cacti, which is very ideal because, New Mexico has a lot of water-heavy farming down south with the pecan trees and, pistachio trees. That takes a lot of our water resources. And then also now they're trying to get AI data centers put in those same regions that are already kind of struggling for water. And when we don't get snow in the winter, we tend to have very, very, very dry summers full of wildfires in the forests. I mean, like Smokey Bear is like New Mexican because of a forest fire. But yeah, we're proud to offer a sustainable product.
So how do you know when a prickly pear is ready?
We actually get this question a lot. So what we say is like, it is so dark, it is almost black.
So that's when it's ready, and is it soft? Does it like yield to pressure if you squeeze it? And can you squeeze it, or do you have to use tongs or gloves?
Oh, yeah, no, please use tongs. Please always never touch a cacti with your bare hand ever, please. We use tongs, and then, we do have a pair of like extreme intense rubber gloves, but, I don't really like using them because I feel like they limit my mobility. As far as harvesting, we just go out there with buckets and tongs and possibly some leather gloves, and it's just an easy pinch and twist because like the prickly pear is the berry of the cactus, so it doesn't need a lot of effort to harvest from them.
So do you know, are there any like indigenous uses in harvesting events or ceremonies for prickly pears?
Dinnets are kind of divided from my experience in, having this business. My grandma was when she was young, she was a sheep herder, and that's how it was known to be kind of like a sheep herder snack, right? They'd harvest them and then kind of burn off the spines and then peel them back and eat the fruit that way. But, there are a lot of Diné who believe that prickly pear falls under sort of like the taboo or the belief that, you don't eat cacti. And so I've given that a lot of thought. And one thing that I think about is like, I wonder if, when they're talking about eating cacti, if they think about like cutting the cactus pads, because one thing that Diné believe is that, you don't inflict harm upon plants or anything, like you don't hit plants with sticks. When you go picking for piñons, you don't shake the trees. You go for the ones that are already fallen. And it's a very like kind of gentle way of living. And so I also know that we have Diné healers and herbalists who understand that prickly pear can be medicinal, and it's used in a lot of like, our herbalism beliefs, but, that's a very limited knowledge that might be just, the certain types of people, or certain people have that knowledge. I don't, unfortunately. It'd be really cool to learn more. But there are other people, like a lot of other tribes, who have used the prickly pear for various purposes. And I don't know any other tribal use, but yeah, from what I just know from my own family, it's a great trail snack.
All right. Do you know what kind of, are there like any specific nutrients that that are in prickly pears? Is it fiber? Is it vitamin C?
Oh yeah, I had read a sheet once that has a lot of information about prickly pear and just like, the nutritional values behind it. And I do know that it has been shown to be high in magnesium and potassium, so great for like exercise and athletes on that level. It is an antioxidant, and it's just a naturally sweet product or juice in general. So like the lemonades that we make, we add the tiniest bit of stevia, but I mean the fruit is already pretty sweet, so it doesn't need a lot. It just needs like a little extra push in the right direction.
All right. So tell me a little bit about harvesting prickly pears. How do you harvest them? How do you clean them? How do you prepare them? And then use them and make your products. I had kind of watched a video. So I know you said the first thing is you wear gloves, right? And you have tongs. And then do you just like go up to a plant when it's red? But you said they're almost black when they're ready. And then do you just pull it and yank it? Or do you, I know you were just talking about being gentle. So
yeah, it's a very like, it's like harvesting like raspberries or blueberries,
so
you
gentle.
just like pluck them right off. Yeah, you don't really got to pry them off. Yeah, so we actually have our Good Agricultural Practices certification from the Mexico Department of Agriculture. So we go through various steps of sanitization and making sure that our fruit is top notch good for our consumers. After we harvest them, we rinse them in a sanitization mixture, and then we rinse them off, let them air dry, and then we freeze them for future use. But yeah, we deal with prickly pears in such a high volume that we don't really have time to do the peeling, etc. So we actually are able. We have a sterilization solution that we dip all of our pears in, and then we rinse everything off and let it air dry because we have our GAP certification or our Good Agricultural Practices certification from the New Mexico Department of Agriculture to guarantee like a safe product for our consumers. But yeah, we deal with such a large volume of pears that we don't have time to like sit there and peel them all. We tried in the beginning, but we actually just smush them in a big old press.
So how do you get the spines off then? I mean, do the pears actually have spines on them?
Yeah, no, it's part of the cactus. We get so poked all the time. We'll sometimes even get poked when we even haven't dealt with pears that day, and we're just like, what? Where did this come from? But we smush everything. So, but we strain all of our juice and all of our products at least 3 times before it hits the bottle.
So let me ask you this. You said you have like such a huge amount. What's a big amount for prickly pears? Is it like, do you measure it in pounds and say like, I've gotten 5,000 pounds this week? And then also, when is the harvesting period?
Unfortunately, because of global warming and our planet is just kind of suffering, our harvest period is just earlier and earlier each year. We were kind of caught off guard last year. My business partner lives in New York City, so he does a lot of the communications with the people on the farm directly himself, so that way I can focus more on my business, Howdy Cakes. And so we just kind of get up the biggest crew that we can, and we go to town and take as many buckets and do the sterilization and store everything in a good way. But yeah, we do box everything in pounds. Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly how many pounds we got last year, but it was in the thousands, and even like 5,000 pounds.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what do you do with it? So once you've mashed them, is there something that you can do with the remaining, whether it's the pulp or the fiber or the pear? Are you able to put it back into the earth? I mean, or do something with it, or what happens to that?
If we can find like a good compost company to work with, that would be awesome. But as we just kind of freeze everything until we're ready to use it for our products.
Wow. All right. And so what do you make with the prickly pears? I know I checked out your website and you've got like syrups. What else do you have?
We started off with a prickly pear lemonade. That's what we wanted to do, but we didn't want to do just a straight prickly pear lemonade because, like we see a lot of that, and we just, we wanted to create a unique product. So we do prickly pear lavender lemonade, and that's what we started with. And then we also created a prickly pear sumac berry lemonade. Sumac is a little berry that grows on a shrub, which is also known as a skunk bush, and it grows in like the Rio Grande Valley and along the base of the Sandia Mountains here in the New Mexico region. But the sumac berry bush has deep ties to Diné culture. All of our baskets are made from the bark strips, and the teas are medicinal. The young twigs, those are used for arrows. But yeah, the berries, we dry them and we grind them up and we turn it into a sort of porridge that we call chichen. And so I wanted to bring that to the table as well. So yeah, we have a prickly pear sumac berry lemonade. We also are really excited because we are working on a new product, which is a canned version of our Indian tea or Navajo tea with a little bit of prickly pear syrup just to lightly sweeten it. So that's on the horizon. And then I do ultra marathons throughout the year. So one thing that I really want to start to try and do is to start to make a sport drink out of the prickly pear, because I mentioned before that it has magnesium and potassium in it, and those are great for like hydrating and like any sort of muscle cramps. So yeah, that's been kind of mulling around in my head as well.
Okay, wait. So you said you also do ultra marathons?
Yeah.
So you're an ultra marathon runner, and you have prickly foods, and you do hattie cakes.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Wow.
I'm also in an international competing barbershop course.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll be coming to, I'm helping plan a convention for our national group out in Chandler in May. So, woo.
That's a lot. All right. Well, okay. All right. So the prickly pears, though, we're going to have to do another show on the running, especially since you're an ultra marathon runner. Do you have a favorite recipe that you do with the prickly pear syrup, whether it's in the cakes or something else?
I do love to use our prickly pear products in a lot of like the fillings and custards that I make. One of the biggest questions that I get is like, what do I do with this syrup? And so, I bring up the fact that I make custom cakes and wedding cakes and do light catering. So I've used it in like fillings, in frostings, in curds, in like the cake itself. I also teach cooking classes and cooking demos. I did a cooking demo at the Phoenix Indian Center. One that I did a while ago was I did like ground turkey meatballs with a savory sauce and some pork chops with a savory sauce. And both of those sauces were made with the prickly pear simple syrup. I like to put them on pancakes and waffles. Those are so delicious. And it goes well in like beverages. One of the jokes that I make is like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are putting these in margaritas around the country. But I like to put mine, in sparkle water and just like Sprite. It goes great in Sprite for like a little Southwestern Shirley Temple of sorts. Yeah, it's really, really versatile.
So are you thinking that you would ever do like a non-food item? Have you ever thought of like soaps or anything like that?
Not really.
No? Okay, food items.
I've always been, a food forward person because like I believe that food is medicine, and especially with howdy cakes, one of the things that like one of the reasons why I love doing custom cakes and wedding cakes is like I put my good intentions and my love and all of my blessings like into the food items that I make for people. So yeah, I feel like food communicates to me on that level.
Wow. You are very interesting. What a great story. All right. So since I'm pretty much out of time, I wanted to find out, how can our listeners find more information about like you and Howdy Cakes and Prickly Foods? Let's start with like, how can they contact you? If it's like your Instagram or how you would prefer, email, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm a very, very Instagram forward person. It's just, kind of easiest to share in the world of like pictures and videos, etc. So yeah, my personal Instagram, that is just kind of basic me stuff. That is Shasta Pops 49, and Pops is a Z. And then my music that I perform through is Liz Howdy on Instagram. My custom cakes and wedding cakes and catering business, that is Howdy Cakes ABQ. And Prickly Foods is, of course, Prickly Foods.
And then if somebody wanted to check out your website, which I thought was beautiful and very interesting, what's your website?
That is pricklyfoods.com, I believe is the one you're referring to.
Yep.
Okay.
And I really appreciate it. I've learned a lot. I thank you for your time and your energy. I'm going to look at prickly pears a whole new way now and try some more prickly pear syrup. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Coming up next on Native Talk Arizona, host Susan Levy chats with Trinidad Quiros, co-owner and chef of Fry Bread Riot Food Truck. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 8800 North 22nd Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. And Native Health provides primary medical services at the new Guadalupe Health Center, 6725 South Priest Drive in Guadalupe. Native Health provides primary medical, dental, behavioral health, WIC, and wellness services for the urban Native American community. For more information, call 602-279-5262 or visit our webpage at nativehealthphoenix.org.
Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, Native Health's Native American Cultural Affairs program, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy, and Fry Bread Riot is a family-run food truck that serves really yummy, delicious, sweet, and savory fry bread from the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. In the studio to tell us more about Fry Bread Riot is the co-owner and chef, Trinidad Quiros. Trinidad, welcome to Native Talk Arizona.
Hello, nice to be here.
Can't wait to hear more. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey.
My name is Trinidad Quiros. I was born here in Phoenix, and I've lived in the diaspora of the res all my life. I am from the Salt River res. I'm also part Mojave, a little TO, but mainly from the Salt River Reservation. I've moved to the southwest Phoenix, a little city of Laveen, for more than half my life.
Not little anymore.
Yeah, not so little anymore. No, it's rapidly expanding. We got a freeway, QTs everywhere. It's I love QT. But it's nice to have. It's nice to see how everything's changed. Much like our fry bread has changed throughout these last 5 years.
So you've lived in Phoenix your entire life. So you are a chef.
Yeah.
Are you classically trained or self-taught?
I am mostly self-taught. When I graduated high school, I went to U of A. And
you're a wildcat.
I was a wildcat. Okay. I was there for a year and I flunked out. But after that, I started working at the casino. I was a blackjack dealer for a large portion of my life. I'd have graveyard shifts, so I'd have a lot of free time in the day to work on my various hobbies. I like to crochet.
That's cool.
I like to woodwork. I play drums, and I love to cook. Cooking was just one of my hobbies that I really enjoyed doing, and I would learn new recipes online. Well, I'm a big YouTube watcher, so I'm watching like Chef John Food Wishes. I'm watching Alex Ragusia.
I don't know. I watch the Food Channel. So.
Yeah, I was also I'm a big food watcher, listener, and I would practice recipes all the time in my free time. I started cooking when I was a teenager. My mom and dad were also blackjack dealers. My dad worked in the day and my mom worked at night. And when my mom was at work, or my dad had got home and went to bed, I would cook. I would just cook stuff I'd see on YouTube, like crazy things. I'd cook like there's this channel called Epic Mealtime. Very big when I was a teenager. They make these crazy meals out of just pure decadence. Like
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it was great. I made this like nacho guacamole. It sounds basic right now, but the stuff the stuff that they put on it was just like I forget. It was such a long time ago, but I've had such a passion for cooking and mimicking what people on YouTube were doing. So I started cooking myself. I would enjoy my mom's fry bread growing up. It was a rare occasion to have fry bread because it was a lot of work. And my mom learned it from our family over on the T.O. Res. My Thea Laney, she taught my mom how to cook fry bread, and my mom would cook fry bread for us. And that's
so
how
you learned.
To be honest with you, I'm not the fry bread person on the truck. My sister is. My sister has perfected the recipe. She's got the frying to a science. That's her section. My section is the red and the green chilies, the beans, the carne asada, the salsa, all chopping everything else,
Okay, so you're the accoutrements. Okay.
Yeah.
So you came up with the idea of doing a food truck?
Me and my dad started the idea of a food truck, and we brought my sister in, see if she'd be interested in doing it. My dad had brought up, he's it's such a nice way to make money, You like to cook.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Oh man, it really is. We brought up the idea of doing it sometime in my first or second year of being a blackjack dealer, and we were kind of over it. It's a good job, no disrespect, but something about taking people's money doesn't feel good all the time. And we formed the idea of the food truck sometime in 2018, 2019, and we really got started in late 2019.
Right before COVID.
I know. That's the thing. We bought our truck. We scheduled our truck to be built in August of 2019. We got it in November 2019, and then the world went
4 months later.
Nowhere, For a year and a half, we just left the truck sitting in a parking lot. And during that time, I was like, well, I guess I have all this time. I'm going to go to school. And I took business classes, graduated with my associates. And yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. I learned more efficient cooking techniques that I wouldn't have learned from my days of watching YouTube. It was online. I'm not going to say I was in a kitchen or I did anything like that, but it was just like what is it called? It's like grand. It's something how you can cut fruits and vegetables into shapes and make
oh, that's cool.
Make decorations out of them.
So you learned a lot of good knife skills.
Yeah, yes.
And are your knife skills pretty good now?
Oh yeah, they're top.
Like the thing where they go chop really fast with their fingers.
I got the claw method down. I'm in there.
Okay.
We started the food truck in 2022. I was still a blackjack dealer. Everyone was still doing blackjack, and I would do it on the weekends. We'd start at 4 p.m., go all the way to 10 p.m. right by our freeway in Levine, and we started gaining a following then. But it's not to where it is now, and it was just this is just a side project thing. Hopefully, we can make it bigger. And we had absolutely no idea what we were doing. I took the culinary class. But the only person with food service experience was my sister. She does the fry bread now.
Okay, so that's her big specialty is the fry bread.
She knows exactly what to do. She's a scientist at it.
All right, so how'd you come up with the name Fry Bread Riot?
Fry Bread Riot comes from the movie Smoke Signals.
Okay.
Have you seen the scene where Thomas is telling Susie about Victor's mom, Arlene. There's a story of Arlene's magical fry bread where there's like 100 people in the cafeteria and she had only made 50 fry bread. And Thomas is like, there was going to be a fry bread riot if,
Very cool.
if they didn't feed all these 100 people. So Arlene had the grand idea to cut the fry breads in half and make 100 fry bread. And the riot never started. Everyone went peacefully into the day.
Okay, I like the name.
Yeah.
All right. So the truck is located in Levine.
Yes.
And is it in the same place or does it move?
Right now, the food truck is in 2 places.
Okay.
It's either in Levine on 67th Ave and Baseline,
Okay.
Mondays and Fridays.
Okay.
And we also go to our own reservation, the McDowell Pop-Up Shop. That's
In Salt River?
In Salt River, yeah.
Okay, and where's it in Salt River?
The closest crossroads are Alma School and McDowell Road. It's the northwest corner.
Okay, so if you're in Levine on Monday and Friday, what days are you at Salt River?
Salt River's the weekend, so Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, so you work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, and if people wanted to hire you and do a special event, would you bring the truck out for that? Do you do catering?
Yes, we do catering.
Okay.
We've catered a presentation at Scottsdale Community College one time.
Okay.
We've curated birthdays on the res for people.
So you're open to all that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about your menu. So what's on the menu and what's the best seller? Or your favorite, if you don't want to answer the others.
I see what you're saying.
I looked at your menu. It looks really good.
We have a savory and a sweet option. So we have bean and cheese, a classic, Everyone's had that. We have red and green chilies.
Which is your specialty, right?
Yeah. No. Our specialty is the carne asada.
Okay.
It's a chopped beef, seasoned and grilled with Monterey Jack cheese. We put cabbage on top of it, onion, cilantro, and some sour cream. Garnish it with the lime and some salsa on the side, and that's my favorite, and I feel like it is our best.
It's your best seller?
Yeah.
Okay, so Trinidad, tell me what's on the menu on the sweet side, and what's your favorite, and what's the best seller?
Okay. We have powdered sugar and honey, classic, laid all over a fry bread.
Okay.
We have a cookies and cream, which is a chocolate drizzled fry bread layered with whipped cream, toppled with cookies.
Like Oreos or something?
Like Oreos, crushed Oreos, and garnished with a full Oreo right in the center. Make it look pretty. Douse another layer of chocolate syrup on top, and then powdered sugar. It's decadent. It is.
I would say that's.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
That one sounds really good. Okay, that's your best seller on the sweet side?
No, I wouldn't. That's not our best.
On the
seller.
sweet side? Okay,
on the sweet side, it's probably the strawberries and cream.
Is that like real strawberries?
Real strawberries. It's similar process. Fry bread drizzled with strawberry sauce, whipped cream, and then we put freshly cut strawberries layered on top of on the whipped cream. Put another big old strawberry in the middle, drizzle with more strawberry sauce, and then powdered sugar on top.
Okay, that one sounds pretty good.
That's my favorite. That's also my favorite, the strawberries and cream. But we have another one which combines the two. It's called the Volcano, and it's chocolate and strawberry drizzled on top of a fry bread, whipped cream, strawberries layered on the whipped cream, cookies drizzled on top, strawberry chocolate syrup, then poured back on top of that, and then a little drizzle of spattering of powdered sugar. Yeah.
That sounds really good too.
Yeah.
Who does the menu development? Like you or your sister or your dad?
It's a group thing. We all my dad came up with the carne asada. I developed the red and green chili recipes, but he developed the carne asada, or at least he had the idea of it, and I tweaked it. But my sister did all the sweets, I would say. She had those ideas.
That's cool.
We all worked together to make a menu.
That would be hard. Food trucks are not very big.
Yeah.
And I watched the food truck race on TV, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's really hard. Like, it's self-contained, it's little, you don't have unlimited water, it's hot, right? Doesn't it get stressful?
Oh, it gets very hot. We take the summers off. It gets very hot in there. But it was stressful at first, but I feel like nowadays we have it down. We're actually very lucky, not having any experience in actual kitchen, any of us ourselves, before starting the food truck. we are very lucky that we set up the truck in a way to make it work as efficiently as it does right now. By the grace of some benevolent being, we just organize the truck in the right way. We do festivals as well. So we've been to Buds of Palooza, we've been to Copper State Beer Festival, and we've done the Fry Bread Festival. We won an award there.
Oh, that's one that was recent, right?
Yeah, that was back in November.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Those are the days that are the hardest because, it's always the gamble.
A lot of people, right,
yeah,
too?
Yeah.
And like lines and lines of people that don't stop.
The Fry Bread Festival was the most stressful festival we've ever done in our entire career.
Do you do a ton of them?
We do a bunch, yeah. This year we're trying to focus more on developing a single spot, or I guess 2 spots, more consistent spots. But yeah, festivals are always like, okay, just a little influx of cash and
Right, but I'm sure it's stressful. It's a weekend, most likely. It's a lot of people in line. I'm assuming tourists or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's just constant.
Yeah,
we're probably not a lot of breaks.
Yeah, we're like in a week or two, we're about to do the spring training.
Oh yeah.
In Surprise, and we've been told that there's going to be a lot of tourists from all over the country, and it's gonna be crazy. So it does get hard in there. It's a lot of small space, a lot of get out of my way. Oh, my bad. Doing the wrist thing with the bear. But
do you guys have help? Like on those days, are you going to take somebody else out to help do the tickets or whatever?
Actually, it's a family-run business. Outside of just me, my dad, and my sister, my mom helps. My grandma helps. My Thea helps. My little cousin, he's starting to help. And for the spring training thing, we've even asked the other side of our family for help. And they're willing to show up and help us out as much as they can. But it's going to be a 7-day a week for 31 days.
But how awesome is that?
I know. I'm excited.
I mean, the visibility and tourists learning what you do, and what a great opportunity.
I know. What I've learned about Fry Bread is there's a lot of people who don't know about it.
Right.
And it'll be interesting to have a bunch of people who may not be from a Midwest town where they have native sell fry bread, or I don't even think there's anything on the east coast of the country with fry bread. I can't think of anything.
And you're going to have a ton of tourists. I mean, people come out here. Spring training is the big thing.
I think it's just going to be really cool to be someone's first experience with fry bread.
And educate them.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. Okay, so we talked about your family members. Do you have like a favorite success story? So you lay in bed at night or early in the morning and go, whoa. Like maybe spring training, like somebody didn't know about it and I taught them something. Or do you think working with your dad and your sister are something that you're really proud of? Or
our first festival we ever did was the Copper State Beer Festival. That's in Mesa, Riverview Park. Okay. They have it usually every January. And we won an award. It was our first outing as a festival goer, and we won an award.
That's cool.
That was like early on in our career. And then we did the Fry Bread Festival last November. We won the Best Chili Award. That's really nice to have. Hope's Fry Bread won first place, but we'll get them next time.
And she's very nice.
Yeah.
But you got the award for chili? What kind of chili?
We got an award for our green chili.
Okay, and that's the one you make?
Yeah.
That you said you like making?
I prefer my red chili, to be honest with you. So
okay.
I think, man, I don't know.
That's a nice award to get either way,
yeah,
red or green.
No, I prefer. I like both of them, but it's happy to be recognized.
And is that beef or pork?
It's shredded beef.
Okay.
Shredded sirloin. But my favorite success story is we recently hosted a benefit show at the pop-up shop in late December. It was a toy drive and a fundraiser to raise money for missing and murdered Indigenous women. It was a success story because I was able to use a lot of my knowledge on event organizing. I play music in a band, and we've gone on several tours, and we've also put up shows, and it was nice to use the band and use the food truck together to create an event that brought a lot of people to a place that no one usually goes. If you're not really on the res, you don't know a lot about the pop-up shop. You don't really see anybody who's not native on there. I mean, it happens, but it's very rare. I think it's people going to the river people clinic right there on the res. So you get people who are going there, and they're like, oh, snap, what's this little pop-up shop? And so it was cool to use the power of my band and the power of the food truck to bring a lot of people. And it was a big event. It was successful. We got a lot of toys, donated them here, as a matter of fact. And
Thank you.
And it was around Christmas.
That made a big difference for families.
Yeah.
So which band are you in? I have to ask now that you keep saying the band.
It's Pleasure Cult. We've been around for a few years, but.
And what kind of music? Sorry, I'm going.
I would say
digressing off the topic, but.
It's indie rock.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to get you on for the band too.
Really?
We're always looking for musicians. So what do you have planned for the future? And I think it's amazing, one, that you're a musician as well. So obviously you're very creative. You're a chef and a musician.
Yeah.
And bringing those two together, so that's super important. Or you think you're going to do more of those two things, like marry the music with the fry bread truck? Or are you just going to focus on the truck?
I think I would like keep them separated a little bit, but I just wanted to be able to use the power of the band to just bring some people into a place. But I've met a lot of people playing music, and I would like to see other bands come out to the res and maybe create a little scene out there for music.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
And the truck, you think you're just going to stick with like the 4 days?
The truck, we are actively working on developing a brick and mortar business, but with the way the world's going right now, who knows where we'll be in the next 6 months, 3 months even.
I don't know. You got to manifest that because, like, look, you've got
plan
hopes.
for the future, but live in the present.
Yeah, but you've got hopes.
Yes.
You have Chris's now.
Mm-hmm.
She's up north on Dunlap or wherever. And then I know you have the Fry Bread House. And then, look, you could be and I know there's the stand. I mean, there's a few, but just think you could be like a next big brick and mortar.
Oh, I would love to.
You've got to manifest that and put that out there.
For sure. I would.
Like, there's nothing in Levine, right? Like that?
There's nothing in Levine, and it's developing fast. So
See?
Hopefully. And I still feel like if we had a brick and mortar, we'd still bust out the food truck, go to the res, go to somewhere else, maybe like Glendale, Tempe.
But, what an opportunity. Even being, like you said, at Surprise at the ballpark out there, maybe you're going to meet somebody.
True.
And they're going to take your card and say, hey, you know what? Or do catering, and you'll get more business that way and build it up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, to me, seems like such a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
And so you're willing to do catering, and I think that's a big deal. Do you think you'll ever incorporate like local indigenous ingredients? Whether it would be like, I don't know, mesquite flour or tepary beans from Gila River and things like that, and incorporating them?
At the pop-up shop one weekend, there was a guy selling corn. Roasted corn. He was selling this, I forget what it was, but it was like it was corn kernels, and he said you put them in these beans, and I'm not sure where he was from. I wish I remembered, but he said it was a delicacy. You put it in the beans, and it just tastes really good. And I've got to find those. I got to find those corn kernels, but I've always tried to like incorporate more Native American centered ingredients, indigenous ingredients. Corn, mesquite, like we'd want to do jumeth, but we don't have the facilities to do that right now.
'Cause isn't there something at Salt River where they do like a lot with the mesquite?
Yeah.
I know that they're always calling for tribal. I think it's Salt River where they always have a call for people to bring in mesquite and then they'll grind it. I thought it was that.
Well,
I see it on somebody's social media.
They're always looking for mesquite.
And I know that's a lot of work to grind that.
Yeah. It's also used for other purposes, like spiritual purposes. Recently, I had a family member pass, and we buried him out there, and we had to use a bunch of mesquite trees to do it. And I remember the guy telling me when we did it, like, we'd either have to go to Sackatoon, we might have to go to Gila River and pick up some mesquite. So I think that's mainly why they do it.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Well, I
I'm
know
not
they've
too
seen
sure.
them look for the pods too.
Yeah.
For some of the grinding, but I'm sorry for your loss too.
Thank you so much.
I don't know. I just think there's like a lot of producers in town, and I know Salt River has some people also there that they do a lot of work with, like Jacob Butler and that whole group with doing things with indigenous ingredients and things like that. All right. Well, we're almost out of time. I can't wait to go to the Fry Bread Truck. And again, on Fridays and Mondays, it's at Levine, right?
Yes.
Saturday and Sunday, it's at Salt River at Alma School in McDowell.
Alma School in McDowell, yes.
Okay.
Northwest corner.
And then if I wanted to find you, I would go to your social media, correct?
Yes, you can follow us at frybread.riot on Instagram. And my personal Instagram is tequ.9 on IG. Yeah.
Okay. And then what about Facebook?
Facebook is the same, Fry Bread Riot.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you have any catering opportunities or want to get in contact with us, our email is keyros.llc@gmail.com. KEYROS.LLC@gmail.com.
Okay. Trinidad, thanks for coming on. I want to try the stuff. I think I would try the beans and cheese and then also the strawberries. Sounds awesome. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and 90.7 FM KRDP. Our executive producer is Susan Levy. Sound engineer is Javier Quiroga. We hope you will tune in again next week. If you have any questions, please reach us at nativetalkaz@listentokrdp.com.